Okay, let's continue. We're moving on to Rankine passive earth pressure, vertical backface, and inclined backface. So for this one, we're going to compute for the Rankine passive earth pressure, wherein the backface of our retaining wall is vertical and we have an inclined backfill. Of course, we have a granular backfill, so our C prime is equal to 0. So the pressure for that, we're going to have sigma sub P, which is gamma times Z times K sub P. Of course, we know this is our Rankine passive lateral earth pressure, or this is the horizontal force, which is now equal to gamma times Z, which is actually the vertical stress, multiply this one to K sub P, which is the Rankine passive earth pressure coefficient. So to have the value for the passive force for our Rankine, total passive force, which is equivalent to this expression, 1/2 gamma h squared times K sub P. In our K sub P, you can use this equation so that you can obtain the lateral Rankine lateral earth coefficient, or you can have this table. What is important here is you know the value for alpha and the value for P prime, so that you can have the passive earth pressure coefficient value. And for if the backfill of the frictionless retaining wall is similar to what we have discussed in figure 12.10, you can use this equation. So this is sigma sub P, which is equal to gamma times C K sub P, or this is equivalent to gamma times C K sub P prime cosine alpha. And of course, for our K sub P prime, this is equal to this expression. So there's a formula that you're going to use so that you can have the value for K sub P prime. And the values for K sub P prime, you can also use this tabulation, this table. You have to know the value for P prime, for alpha, and the ratio between C prime and gamma times Z. Now let's move on to Coulomb passive earth pressure. So for Coulomb passive earth pressure, for this one, the difference, of course, from the Rankine passive earth pressure, of course, we are on Coulomb, which means that we consider the friction of the retaining wall in the analysis for the passive earth pressure. For our Coulomb passive earth pressure, this is the illustration for the analysis of the Coulomb passive earth pressure. So basically, on our failure wedge, this is our failure wedge A, B, C sub prime. The forces that are acting are the weight. You have the weight, you have the resultant force due to the normal force and the shear forces, and of course you have your passive force. And based on that forces acting on the failure wedge, you can draw your force polygon. So you have P sub P, W, and R. So for that one, you can compute for the Coulomb passive force, and that can be expressed mathematically by this expression. So to compute for the Coulomb passive force, that is 1/2 gamma h squared times K sub P. So our K sub P, of course, that is equivalent to the Coulomb passive pressure coefficient, and that is equal to this equation. So the values for K sub P, of course, can also be identified for beta is equal to 90 degrees and alpha is equal to 0 degrees. And for this one, we have to know the value for phi prime and the delta prime so that we can have the value for K sub P. Then we have Kakut and Keresel solution for the analysis of passive earth pressure having a granular backfill. So in that case, our passive pressure per unit length of the wall can be calculated using this equation, 1/2 gamma h squared times K sub P. Of course, K sub P, we know that that is the passive pressure coefficient. And for the passive pressure coefficient, you can have here the soil, you can have this figure to have the value for K sub P. We need the value for theta and the value for the angle of friction so that we can have the value for K sub P. And we have here the illustration for Kakot and Keresel solution on the analysis for passive earth pressure. We're in our using that figure for the definition of H1, we refer to figure 12.23b, and the variation of K sub P determined by Kakot and Keresel is shown, of course, in figure 12.23a. So for that, if we have to take note that if K sub P values shown are for delta over phi sub prime is equal to 1, and if it is not equal to 1, this ratio is not equal to 1, so we're going to have the value, we have to determine the value for K sub P using this procedure. So you have to take note that the value shown and the ratio between delta over phi prime is equal to 1. However, if it is not equal to 1, you're going to make use of this procedure so that you can solve for K sub P. So we have to assume our delta prime and phi prime value. We have to calculate the ratio between delta prime all over phi prime, and using that ratio, we can have the value for the reduction factor from figure 12.12. From table 12.12, so you can have the value for the reduction factor, which is denoted by R prime. And from figure 12.23, determine our K sub P. And you can now calculate for K sub P using this equation for if delta prime over phi prime is not equal to 1. So you can use this equation. So this is also an illustration, a figure to determine the value for K sub P. You have to identify our phi prime and the ratio between alpha over K sub phi prime so that we can have the value for K sub P. And this is the illustration for the failure wedge of the backfill. And you have the presence, of course, the passive total force acting on the retaining wall. And this is our horizontal force for the Coulomb passive earth pressure. And for the reduction factor, as mentioned a while ago, this is our table so that we can have the value for the reduction factor R prime. And using that figure from 12.24b that was presented a while ago, to compute for, it has a vertical retaining wall and an inclined granular backfill. So our passive lateral earth pressure is equal to our total force, passive total force is equal to 1/2 gamma h squared times K sub P. So from Kakot and Keresel solution, of course for K sub P, it was given in figure 12.24 for delta over phi prime is equal to 1. However, in order to determine for K sub P, you can have make use of this equation. You can use these steps so that you can compute for K sub P if delta over phi prime is not equal to 1. Okay, we have here a sample problem with a retaining wall having a height of 3 meters and a vertical backfill, vertical back, which is equal to theta equal to 0 degrees, and we have a horizontal granular backfill. Our gamma is 15.7 kilonewton per cubic meter. Small delta is 15 degrees and phi prime is 30 degrees. So we're going to estimate our passive force P sub P using Coulomb theory and Kakot-Keresel theory. So for this one, for Coulomb theory, to compute for the passive force, you use this equation. We have to identify our phi prime and small delta prime so that we can have the value for K sub P. You can get the value for K sub P from table 12.11 and you substitute to this equation. It gives us 351.6 kilonewton per meter. Then for the second part, which is to solve using the Cahot and Keriso's theory, theta is equal to 0 and h1 is equal to h. So we're going to have our passive force P sub P, which is 1/2 gamma times h squared K sub P, and we have to identify our K sub P, which is 5.9 using figure 12.83a. And from the table 12.12, we have the value of our reduction factor, which is 0.746. And basically, using that equation, using those values of our parameters, you substitute that one to this equation so that we can have our value for the passive force. So our case of P, since our delta, the ratio between delta over P prime is 0.5, we need to add the value for the reduction factor. So basically our reduction factor, you multiply that one for our case of P, which is 5.9, and multiply that one to h squared times gamma times 1/2, and basically that now is equivalent to 311 kilonewton per meter. So the last one is the passive pressure under earthquake conditions. So for this one, you have a retaining wall and with a granular backfill under earthquake conditions. So you have here the nature of failure surface in soil considered in the analysis for our passive pressure under earthquake conditions. So these are the variation for our case of P. We just have the value for P prime, our case of H, and the value for case of B and case. And of course, this is the equation that you're going to use so that you can have the passive pressure under earthquake condition. So if you're going to have a problem using the example previously explained, that was previously solved, for an earthquake condition, case of B is equal to 0 and case of H is equal to 0.2, we're going to estimate the passive pressure P sub P per unit length of the wall. So you simply have to get your case of P due to earthquake condition using figure 12.26b. We need the value for P prime 30 degrees, this ratio which is 0.5, and case of B which is 0, and case of K which is 0.2, and that is now case of P due to earthquake condition is equal to 4. You substitute this expression to our equation here and you get the value of 292.6 kilonewton per meter. So that ends our discussion for our lateral earth pressure.